What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. I feel like crap. I'm completely plugged up. My voice is giving out, so I just want to do a quick video. No Raw preview today and no touch 'em all. I'm just going to do this video so I can be ready for Joe Cronin's show tonight. So make sure you check that out. Joe Cronin's show on YouTube right after Raw review. Me and the gang. Joe Cronin kicking ass. Jesse J. Who knows who else is going to show up? Make sure you join us there tonight right after Raw. But there's a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick, and thought it was interesting. Bill Goldberg. Now, I have made some videos on Bill Goldberg in the past, talking about how I'm just tired of Bill Goldberg, and I am. That is not less true now than it was 2 months ago or whenever the last time I talked about Bill Goldberg. It's not that. Look, Bill Goldberg was great. He is an important part of wrestling history, and during his main run, arguably, nobody has been more over than Bill Goldberg was, including Stone Cold Steve Austin. It is arguable. You could make the argument. Now, I don't know if you'll win the argument, but you could make that argument. He was red hot, and mismanagement and ego, whatever, got in the way of it. Now, I can't fault him for that. Now, what I can fault him for is what he did after. Bad decision after bad decision, because unfortunately, Bill Goldberg, and really when he went to WWE, felt like, I'm Bill Goldberg. It's just like that's every time that you would see him, it just felt like that was his stance. I'm Bill Goldberg. So I don't have to do this or this or this. I don't have to put out, sell out, whatever. I'm Bill Goldberg. And he still has that attitude today. He walks around just basically saying, I'm Bill Goldberg. He's been teasing MMA, which he'll never go to, by the way. He's not that guy. He could say he's that guy, but especially at his age that he's at now, he's not that guy. He keeps talking about wrestling one more match, but it's always on his terms. He wants his son to see him wrestle, and that's perfectly fine. And that's great. That's great. Look, it doesn't make any sense for him to produce his own wrestling event, which is what he's talking about currently, to wrestle one match. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody's going to see it. It will not be well produced. It probably won't be a good match. If he wanted to do it properly, WWE would give him the spot, but he's got to get over himself just a little bit. Anyway, that's my Goldberg rant. The thing I wanted to talk about was over the weekend at a Legends of Wrestling event in Citi Field in New York, friggin' Goldberg got into a physical fight with Scott Steiner. Of course not. Really? No, this was in the ring. Scott Steiner was in the ring, and these two have been trading shots on the internet over the last couple of weeks, so it's kind of apropos that this happened. And Goldberg ended up spears him real good. Pretty cool, actually. You can see the photo right here of him getting ready to spear the big bad booty daddy. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a cool thing to see Goldberg do that, but at the same time, when you see the other photos of this event and just how few people were there and how much nobody really seemed to give a shit, it's kind of a representative of the amount of people in the wrestling community that still yearn for certain things that we don't get anymore. It's a very small group, and it might even be smaller because there were some people who were there because this is what I've been missing, and then there's other people who are there because, God, I want to feel that way. I need this. I need nostalgia. I need it. I got to see these guys, and I don't know, So after he hit the spear, he hit Doc Gallows with a jackhammer, and then he celebrated. It was kind of cool. I mean, it's a cool little thing. I'd like to see him wrestle in front of a real audience. Does he have to? No, because he's Bill Goldberg, of course. So, it all depends on how you feel about Goldberg. And look, I'm not a Goldberg hater. It drives me nuts that some people put him on this pedestal, that he's one of the greatest wrestlers or had one of the greatest careers. No, that's not true. He had one of the greatest runs in history. Goldberg is a borderline Hall of Famer. borderline. I don't even know if he is the Hall of Famer. If you want to be just straight up cut and dry about it, I'm not sure that Goldberg is a Hall of Fame superstar. I'm not positive on it. He you can make the argument for him, and I'm sure most people you're gonna get the victory because people buy into this mythos of Goldberg. But when you really look at his entire career, it's lacking not only in time, but the guy never became a good in ring performer. He relied on intensity and a few moves, and you could say, well, that's the same thing with Hogan and Cena. Very, very true, and guys of that ilk. But they had longevity. They have longevity. They did it for years, years. Goldberg, his run was less than 2 years. His main major super hot run was less than 2 years. So it's just on like a lot of people are they're going to disagree with this, and that's fine because I know this is not a popular stance because Goldberg is a god. He's one of the greatest, but he's not. He's not. It's just my opinion. He's just not for me because he's probably one of the most egotistical wrestlers you'll hear talking today. And for, he's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's not The Rock. He's not Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's not Shawn Michaels. He's not The Undertaker. I mean, if you play that type of game, who Goldberg is not, you're going to be quite surprised how many names that you read off. He's not Macho Man. He's not the Ultimate Warrior. I don't think he's Kevin Nash. I don't think he's John Cena. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. Just how far you'll go. Now, once again, I'm not diminishing his run because he had a hell of a run. Hell of a run. One of the great top 3 runs in history. But one run does not a career make. You know what I mean? And so, look, I hope that he does get over himself a little bit and does wrestle one more time on a big stage because I do think he deserves that. I think that it's something that fans would like and his son would get a kick out of it, and that'd be great. But he's not going to get paid what he thinks he's worth. He's not. And he's going to have to understand that. He's not going to get the spot that he thinks he's worth either. He thinks that he's Goldberg. He should probably main event to WrestleMania. That's insane. He's a sideshow. He's a sideshow. That's what he is. He'll be in the same exact spot that Sting would be in. And it would probably be just like Sting against Triple H. And Sting, who had a much greater career, much more impactful, look where he was placed on the card at WrestleMania. Goldberg probably ranks lower than that. So, anyway, let's get to the other thing that I want to talk about. WWE Hall of Fame. A physical Hall of Fame. There are new talks about a WWE Hall of Fame, and it looks like it's getting closer to possibly taking shape. Now, the latest rumor is that they are looking to possibly set up shop in Orlando, with Universal Studios running up on a current spot. I think it's basketball related, and it's running out. So WWE is in consideration for taking that spot and turning it into a physical museum, Hall of Fame, and also a restaurant together, which I don't know how I feel about that. I've been to the WWE restaurant. I never went to the one in New York. I went to Nitro Grill quite a bit because it was right above my mother's restaurant in Excalibur in Las Vegas. The casino that she worked at was Excalibur, and it was right above that. So I went to that. The Nitro Grill was awesome. Awesome. But I never went to the one in New York, the WWE one. But I don't really want a restaurant and museum. I wouldn't mind a restaurant in one location and a physical Hall of Fame in another. I think it's important that we get a WWE Hall of Fame. I think it's an important thing for history's sake. I think it's an important thing for people to be able to go and touch and really be a part of history. And if they do it right, they can have enough attractions to where it'll be a year-round thing. You can have wrestlers be there to sign autographs. I mean, you could do all kinds of really, really cool things. You could set up a ring and, to let people stand in. I mean, there's all kinds of cool things that you can do to let people just touch something that they want to be a part of so badly. Now, that's the thing about wrestling. You feel so connected to wrestling. You feel like you're a part of it. A physical Hall of Fame would really give that to you. Now the question would be where to put it. I don't know if Orlando's the best place. It's a great tourist destination. That's probably the thinking from a business standpoint. But obviously there's other, more significant historically places like New York is obvious. Stamford, Connecticut isn't a bad idea, but the problem is who goes to Stamford, Connecticut? So when you're thinking about tourism and stuff, New York makes sense and Florida makes sense. Maybe even California, but I know they don't like operating that far out on the West Coast. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Where should the WWE Hall of Fame reside? And should there even be one? Also, would you go to a WWE restaurant if it was attached to the Hall of Fame? What do you guys think of that? Also, what do you think of Goldberg getting back into the ring? Is it a pathetic attempt, or is it something serious that we should be like, oh, wow, look at that? Or is it just a nostalgia fad? I'd really like to know what you guys think on that. And am I being too hard on Goldberg? Oh, I know. I'm so hard on him. Oh. Well, look, I feel like crap, so I'm getting the hell out of here. I just feel awful. Thanks for everybody joining me last night for Dead on Dave Live. It was a good show. Really appreciate the turnout. You guys are incredible. And we'll see you later on in the week, man. Make sure you watch Joe Cronin's show tonight for the Monday Night Raw review. We'll see you there. Remember, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.